All right. Well, Scott, we just want to let you start off by giving us just maybe a story about when you signed and your memories of what signing day was like for you. Then we'll open it up to questions.
Uh, yeah. So it was, I was planning on gray shirting, taking that fall off. I was planning on getting a job. I was kind of looking around at places, trying to get those like interviews set up, and was working out and continuing that process, and developing, getting stronger and bigger and faster. And Coach Harsin at the time called me in it was May, I believe, pretty late notice, saying that he wanted to bring me on this year and not gray shirt me, which was cool. But obviously, I signed later. I signed in January, with the intent to gray shirt. So, and it was actually kind of a funny story because I needed a printer and I didn't have one in my house, and they sent me over basically the not the contract, but obviously the letter of intent. And I went to my high school, and it was like maybe a weekend or whatnot, or maybe during break, and my principal and football coach Matt Poultry helped me. He printed it off, and I signed it, not knowing exactly what it was. Just thought it was more paperwork I needed to do. And he was like acting really happy, and I was like, kind of like, what's going on? Like, and he was like, you just signed the letter of intent. And I was like, oh. I was like, so it's a done deal? And he's like, yeah, you're a Bronco. So it was pretty cool. So lack of awareness on my part on that one, but it was cool. Kind of not a big special moment, but yeah, signed, and obviously with the intent to gray shirt. He brought me in May, so I had about a month to prepare and got here, and kind of the rest is history. So
awesome. All right, we'll open it up to we'll go Bob, Ron, and then John Mallory.
So Scott, what's it like after about a week or two off, getting ready to get back into the bowl practice scheme? How do you think the layoff affects things, and how is it to restart, and what's it like getting back out there?
Yeah, it does feel good. It felt good to get some time off, some well-needed rest. It's been a long, brutal season, but the team's looking good. We've had an unbelievable 3 days of practice, just going back to the basics, worked on the fundamentals, just focusing on us and what we need to improve on, and just keep working on our scheme and whatnot. And, we've had that time off, but now we're getting back into it. We're not like rushing back in. We're taking our time, slowly building up, getting our lungs back, and we're getting guys back as well. So it's good. We had a solid 3 days of practice, and we'll continue on the path we're headed.
Scott, what do you think is the biggest ingredients in having a good bowl performance? Because, after a 3-week layoff, sometimes teams come out and play really well, and sometimes they don't. So what do you think are the ingredients to leading to a good performance?
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Obviously, sometimes you see in bowl games, there's a lot of high scores, explosive plays, big plays, and it really just comes down to the fundamentals. Back to the basics. Training those, not losing sight of those. What really makes you a good football team, right? The execution part of it. So that's what we're really just hashing out. I haven't really been a part of many bowl preps. Obviously, one got canceled, one was opted out, and one we lost. So, and it's kind of like hard to remember back to those, but we've always done a good job preparing and making sure that we're sound, defensively, and our tackling is still there, and we understand our fits, and the offense is doing a great job with their scheme. So I think we're doing a really good job so far, and we just got to keep it going.
And looking at this year at the defensive line group as a whole, where do you think you guys played well as far as the certain types of things that you guys did well? And, where as you're finishing up the season would be the biggest area that you guys would like to finish better on?
Yeah, I think as a whole, we got better every week, which is really nice to see. We really took strides day in and day out with the help of the coaches, Coach Miley, Coach Av, really just trusting us, believing in us, and putting us in the right positions to be successful. And I think that we just kept getting better and better as the season went on, the teams just couldn't run the ball against us. We really kind of figured it out, and we really just kind of trusted the training, which Coach Miley talks about. We just not that we weren't bought in, but we just kept being diligent about it, and we were really sound in that category, which we always have been sound in the run, and that's our first and foremost goal as a defense. And I thought we've done a good job in that. I think we can always improve on pass rush. I think that's always something that can be improved, as everything can be improved as well. But I think if we can get home to the quarterback a little bit more and pressure him more and cause him to be a little more uncomfortable and give our secondary a better chance to cover, not having to be out there running with those receivers for 5 to 10 seconds. That's a tough ask, and so it's a whole team deal. It's a defense deal. We help them, they help us. So I think we can improve in that category a bit. We've been focusing on that so far in these last 3 practices, and we just got to keep going, keep being diligent about what we're doing.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Hey, Scott. So you touched on your history with the bowl games. You've now had one canceled. The players voted to skip a bowl last year, and you guys lost the Vegas Bowl. I'm curious, given that history, how motivated are you personally to kind of go out there and end this season on a high note?
Yeah, that's definitely the goal, and that's definitely what I want to do, and that's definitely what our team wants to do. It's been a weird, rough stretch of bowl games in the last couple of years, kind of odd. But I think this is a good opportunity for us. No matter what bowl game it is, it's still another opportunity for us to go out there and play as this team, as this is the last time this team specifically will be together, coaches, players. Each team is unique, so it's a good opportunity for us to go out one last time and just play our brand of football and put on a show and just have fun with each other and enjoy the experience. Enjoy one another's presence, and just go out there and end on a high note, just like you said. And I think that's really what we're looking forward to. So we just got to keep preparing in order to do that. So
in terms of momentum heading into next season, how important is the bowl performance?
Yeah, it's definitely huge. It's definitely not a good feeling to end the season on a bad note, whether it be losing a Mountain West championship, then opting out of a bowl, which kind of just sends you down a weird kind of path and kind of puts a weird feeling in you, or whether it just be losing a bowl that you feel like you were the better team, and it definitely just stings. It's something you always think about, and it's just constantly in your mind. It's like when you come back into facility, what was the last time, like what was your last performance, right? It's always based off your last performance. So like, what was it? Do you want it to be like a good one, a bad one, a win, a loss, this and that? But so it's gonna be a fun time. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna play our best game, and we're gonna play our brand of football and have fun doing it. And we should, if we do the things we need to do, then we should come out on top, and we'll have a good ride of momentum going into 2022.
You also mentioned the run defense to Bob. In the month coming out of the bye week, you guys were just a different unit against the run. I believe in that 4-game span, you guys gave up less than 100 yards a game. I know you guys got a little healthier, but was it that simple, or did something else change for you guys in that month after the bye week?
Yeah, we definitely, going into the bye week, we were like 3-3 or something like that. I don't even 3 and 4. Obviously that's not where we wanted to be, and I don't know, who doesn't even know when, who knows when the last time Boise State team was 3 and 4. But so we knew what we had to change, and we all committed as a team to improve ourselves at an individual level, to buy in, to be more diligent about what we're doing, trust the process, trust what the coaches are saying, and just go out there and have fun and do it for one another, not for yourself, and just do it for the program, and just play hard, play relentless. And, we really took a step as a D-line, to answer your question specifically, on focusing on the run game and stopping that, because that's our first and foremost goal. I thought we did a good job. Yeah, I think offenses had 10 explosive runs the back half of the season, and like 4 of them were quarterback scrambles. So in reality, 6 design runs that were explosive. So it's a huge credit to the coaching staff putting us in, good positions to make those plays, and our defense, doing their job and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, that's really what the turning point was, I think, for our team. We just buying into the process, just being 1-0 each day and focusing on the task at hand. And I thought we did a really good job of that.
Sure. And last one for me, Scott. I know you have some eligibility left, but have you given any thought to maybe going pro after this year?
No, definitely not doing that. I got to get my degree first and foremost. I think that's really important. So I think I'm on pace to graduate a year from now. So at the end of next season. But no, I'm definitely going to play my senior year, and who even knows what will happen. I just take it day by day. I don't like to look down that far down the road, so to speak. Just take it day by day, moment by moment, focus on the task at hand, and just keep working hard and doing the right things, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Scott, individually, how do you think you would give yourself, speaking of college, a letter grade on your season? I mean, you led the team in sacks, you led the team in TFLs. They even used you on offense several times this season. I'm sure it'd be a pretty high grade. What would it be and why?
I mean, I don't know. I just try to do my job the best I can, because that's all you really can do. I don't do it for myself. I just try and go out there and help this team, this program, and this city achieve, the goals and uphold the standard that was left before me. That's something that I learned from the older guys when I was a young cat. Because it's about the brotherhood. It's about going out there for this team, the family. And it's not an individual effort. It's from the coaching staff. It's from the trainers, the equipment, from the top to bottom. It's everybody working together to achieve a common goal. And I made some plays. I did some good things. But credit to the coaches. They put me in a good position to make those plays. They pushed me in the off season because they knew my potential and they knew what I could become, and I trusted it. And just at the end of the day, you just got to go out there and trust what you're taught. And sometimes you make plays and whatnot. And I'm very grateful to have those stats and all the recognition. But I'd definitely rather trade it for a Mountain West championship and probably. So, in my opinion, I really don't have a letter grade. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to do my job the best I can. And even if that, even if that's a bad grade, like at the end of the day, if we get, if the team's better because of my effort and I do my job the right way, then that's worth it to me.
Speaking of the bowl game, what do you hope that this program, obviously you're going there to win first and foremost, but what else along with the win do you hope this program benefits from what's going to happen over the next 15 days or so, Scott?
Yeah, I think that, this bowl game is an important one. I think it'll really help us going into the off season and going into next season if we end on a good note and play the way we know we can and the way we should. It's obviously been an up and down season, but man, this team has shined so bright at times. And I think that this bowl game is going to be key. We end on a high note, ride this momentum into the off season, keep getting better, keep trusting, the coaches and the players. We keep growing together. We keep moving in the right path and doing the right things. And I think that, this team and this program is going to get back to what it once was. And I have no doubt in my mind that, Coach Av is going to do nothing but his best to get Boise State back to that standard. I think that's going to be really exciting. I'm very happy to be a part of it. I'm excited as well. So I'm really excited to see how we end this season and ride it into 2022. And I think next year is going to be something really, really special.
Let's go BJ, Jay, and then Will.
Hey, Scott, I kind of wanted to pick up there. It's kind of a cliche, you know, if you win your bowl game, you get the momentum going into the offseason, whatever, but it sounds like there really is something to that. How important, you know, 8-5 is a lot different than 7-6 in terms of the feeling of the season this year. So how big is that for you guys, and how big is that a motivation for you guys to try to win this game to kind of propel you forward?
Yeah, you know, like mentioned earlier, you know, it's super, super important. You know, I think we've done a good job training so far. We've done a good job preparing the last couple of days. And, you know, regardless of what has happened this season, I think that during this 3-week span where we kind of lose sight of what happened, like our previous games, and we're just focusing on the next one because it's the most important one, because it's the next one. I think that's really important that we go out there and play our ball and we end on a good note. And I think that'll really make a lot of the guys, you know, feel good. I think it'll make the coaches feel good. I think it'll really help this program to end on that high note, regardless of what happened or what the record is at the end of the season. I think that ending on that high note will give us a really good feeling. You know, it might, I think it will trump some of the bad feelings from this year.
I don't know how much you've looked at Central Michigan, so you can just say you haven't watched them at all if you haven't, but leading rusher in the nation, obviously it's going to be a challenge for you guys. You know, what do you make of their offense?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no doubt, leading rusher in the nation, very good back, good offense, like to run the ball, obviously. And I don't know, my opinion is they haven't played Boise State, but we just got to keep preparing. You know, we've seen some really good backs this year, without a question. So we'll be ready. You know, we don't back down from that challenge, and that's our goal, and that's their goal. And so we'll see. And but we'll be ready, and we'll keep preparing. And I don't think they'll be able to handle our defense.
Well, final one for me, Scott. You know, you look at all the close games you lost this year, and then you look at Utah State being in the championship when you guys beat them pretty handedly in the division, 27-6 or whatever it was, 3. What I mean, is it hard not to think like what could have been for this team? I mean, it was obviously 7-5 is not the record you want, but it was pretty darn close to being a lot better than that. I mean, you talk about Andy getting the program back soon to where it was and all that. I mean, it really wasn't that far this year, right? I mean, what did you see, and what's that feeling like where it's kind of, you're looking at 7-5, but it could have been a lot better, obviously.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, we were right there. I mean, this season could have been one of those years. I mean, the margin of victory, it falls on a razor's edge, you know. And I've talked to a lot of the coaches who've been here a long time and have been a part of, you know, Fiesta Bowls and this and that. And I've asked them, you know, because, you know, coming from a hometown kid, growing up watching this place, like, I know like this isn't how we, like, this isn't like the standard. And you know, it's hard to kind of hear some of the, you know, hear the fans, you know, feel the way they do. And it's tough. And you know, it really just comes down to like 1 or 2 plays a game. And that's really all it is. You know, it's such a fine line. You know, you got to be on your A game all the time. You have to be so disciplined. You got to execute when the time's right. And we were right there, you know, and we've had a lot of opportunities. You know, we've played some good teams. We've played some teams that we definitely should have beat, but, you know, we didn't play our game. And, you know, it just kind of comes down to those things, you know, where it turns into a 7-6 season or a, you know, 10-2 or whatever season, you know. So you know, it's just Coach Avalos has done a good job. This coaching staff, you know, they really know what they're doing, and we're really buying into it. And, you know, it just comes down to those certain plays in a game, and just keep, you know, the consistency of the execution, and, you know, offense, defense, special teams. You know, it's just, there's so many keys and so many different influences in the game of football. It's quite marvelous. But we were right there multiple times, and I think that we're going to learn that we've learned so much this year, and I think that we're just going to keep learning and growing as a team and as a coaching staff and as a program. And I think it's only up from here.
Thanks, Scott.
Thanks.
Scott, how we doing, man?
Good. You?
I'm good, thanks. Hey, Scott, I know that you've had, you know, a lot of production at Boise State, but what have you learned this season about like the impact that you can make on this team, and, you know, kind of goes beyond leading the team in sacks? It seems like you kind of have a a greater presence on this defense?
Maybe I'm just a big old redhead and I just kind of get everybody's attention. I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's kind of, I just try to do my best to influence the team in a positive manner, having to come in here and having a positive impact, on this environment and, on this culture. It's bringing a positive attitude, smiles, laughs, jokes, lifting everybody up, not tearing people down. It's just coming here, working hard and trying to, lead by example so that, maybe you don't have to say anything, but someone can look at you and like, look at what you're doing and be like, I need to, that's how it's supposed to be done, kind of thing. And I think that's, not something I think about all the time. I mean, I've obviously developed into the person and player I am, and it's taken a lot of hard work. And I just keep continuing to do that because that's really just the secret formula. And I'm just trying to do my best to influence the team, make a good impact on one another, and build those relationships. And if people need help or anything from me, I'm always there for them. So I'm just trying to do my part, on the field, but also, represent and do the right part off the field. So
I know that you touched on this a little bit, but when it comes to Andy Avalos and his vision, why are you so confident? Why do you believe in that? And when you say believe, that carries a little more weight than saying like you think it's good. Like, why is there such a great belief in what is going on over there right now?
Coming from him, former player, alum, been here a long time. Was a DC, left because he was very successful here, got another opportunity, was successful there. He knows what it takes to be successful, and it's not really about being like a Bronco per se. Like, he just knows the game of football so well. He knows the keys to success. Like, he knows what you have to do, like for every position. Like, this is what you have to do, and if you do this, and if you just trust it, like, you're gonna make plays. And he breeds that confidence in you. He breeds the confidence in the coaches and the players. And it's something that is really cool because you could maybe call him a player's coach or whatnot, but he really connects to the guys, and it's kind of like one of us out there. He's out there running around, he's in cleats, having fun with us, throwing footballs, playing catch, this and that. And it's just something that, when he, first got hired, we all called it like the new era. And that's something that I definitely haven't forgotten. And I don't think it will be forgotten, but I think that's definitely something that has some weight to it. And I think that he's gonna, obviously the, first coaching staff, like it's not gonna be perfect. You're learning everything, you're trying to get used to everyone, like one another. You're still building those relationships. I mean, you look at it with like Coach Pete went to UW, and his first year wasn't great, but like you look at the success he had after that. You look at like Nick Saban, who went to Alabama, his first year wasn't very good. You look at the success he's had. So I think that he knows the game of football. He cares so much about you as a player and as a person. More so, he wants you to be successful off the field in life. He cares for you, your family. He's there for you, like no matter what. And I just wouldn't want to be coached by anybody else. So,
one more for me. When you call Andy a player's coach, like, what do you think of? Because saw Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame's new head coach, kind of talk about being a player's coach, and he said that something along the lines of that doesn't mean like he's necessarily going to be, soft or always your friend, but he can relate to you, and he's going to be demanding at times. So when you think of Andy being a player's coach, I guess just like what kind of goes through your mind, I guess.
Yeah, I think it comes back to him obviously having a successful career here. He knows the Bronco way. He knows the standard that was set forth from the guys before him, and then he set it for the guys after him. So he knows the standard, and he, has pledged his life, to Bronco Nation, being a Bronco. He bleeds blue no matter where he goes, right? And so he knows the standard, just like the new Notre Dame head coach. Like, he knows what it takes. Like, he like Coach Avalos has been in my shoes, and he knows like he knows it's hard. He knows it's demanding, but he knows like it's the standard and it needs to be upheld, and he's going to do anything it takes to uphold it. And so I think that causes, you know, a sense of like sometimes carries more weight heard from someone. So from me, when Coach Avalos talks to me about something like on the field football related, and I know that he knows what it's like he's talking about, and he's been in those positions. So I know it carries weight, just like when I was being coached up by David Moa when he was here. Like I knew it carried more weight, and like I understood it more when it came from a teammate or, you know, another player, or even a former coach who was a player who knew what it takes, and he was in our shoes, and you know, he sacrificed and he sweat and bled on the field, and you know, all that. So I think that's really what it comes down to.
Scott, appreciate it, man. Merry Christmas. Thanks for your time.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Hey, Scott, I just got one for you. You reflect on the last couple of months. Who's a young player on your defense that's kind of waiting in the wings but continues to impress you?
You know, I think, man, we have so many good guys on our defense. I think that, you know, one of the first guys that popped in my mind was Kanohi. And I think he's done a really good job this year. I don't know what's in the waters and why, but those two boys, man, the Kaniho brothers, man, they just balled out. I think he's done a really good job this year, stepping up when we've had some depth issues in that position room, and you know, some injuries happen. You know, that's football, but next man up. The standard is the standard, and I think he's done a really good job. And it's only up from here for him. I think he's done a really good job, and you know, I think Isaiah Banya's done also a really good job. He had a really good off season. He's been working hard all year. I just think that, you know, our defense has taken so many strides, and we just all trust each other, and we've been working so hard to improve. But those are some guys that come to my mind for sure.
Thanks, Scott.
Hey,
Scott, appreciate the time. Happy holidays to you. We'll see you down in Tucson.
all right, awesome. Happy holidays, guys.